Hello, teachers. For the Ricky the Rock painting of the rock, you're going to need to have students collect a rock, and you're going to need some white tempera paint and some black tempera paint and some paper plates to put your paint on, an unsharpened pencil, and if you choose to do, or a Sharpie, definitely needs to be a permanent marker. It doesn't have to be a Sharpie, but it needs to be permanent. And some googly eyes. Let's see if I can pick that little guy up. Some little googly eyes, if you choose to do that, because there's two different ways that this can be done, and some tacky glue. I would use tacky glue instead of regular Elmer's glue because the Elmer's glue is a little liquidy and it might just run down the face of the rock. So, oh, you might also need, depending on the age of your students, some paintbrushes. Older students might want to go for it with paintbrushes instead of the pencil, and paper towels and some water to rinse off your materials. Hello, everyone. I'm Miss Ruiz, and we're going to make a Ricky the Rock. Only you're going to make your own. So here are some examples. Here's one that I did. And here's another. So I'm going to show you a couple of different ways that you can do this, and you can adjust it depending on what you want to do with your rock. But before you get started, I want you to pick up your rock in your hand. Let me hold a blank one. And I just want you to feel the rock. And think about the shape of the rock, because I know in the story, the shape that Ricky has causes a problem, and his friends in the community help him solve that problem. So I want you to think about this rock, and I want you to turn to your neighbor, and I want you to describe how your rock feels and how it looks. And I'd like you to think of a name for your rock, because I'm thinking that you might want to leave this on your desk when you're finished with it, as a reminder of what we did today. And also, maybe you can think of this as, you know, a special friend that can help get you through your day when you're having a tough day, or just remind you of today. So after you do that, what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and roll it around on your desktop to figure out where the flattest spot is. And then once you find the flattest spot, we want to figure out where we're going to put the face, where the eyes and the mouth going to go. And there's a couple of different ways, once you find that you can paint in the eyes and the mouth. So I'm gonna go ahead and use this spot right here because it feels like it's the flattest, and when it's sitting in front of me, that's the part of the rock that's facing me. So I'm gonna start with so that I can get a nice round white shape for the eye. I'm going to start with the back of a pencil, the pencil eraser, and you're going to want either you can do the unsharpened side of a pencil, or you can do a new eraser. It's up to you how you want to do it. And you're going to dip your pencil in the paint here, and then I want you to tap it to get most of the paint off, because you don't want a big thick glob because it'll take a long time to dry. So then I'm going to tilt my rock up, and I'm going to use the flat end of the pencil here that's unsharpened, to make a round dot. And you'll be able to see, if I move this closer, that it left a little mark where I was pressing, and that's okay because that's where we're going to fill in with the black paint. So I'm going to dip my end of my pencil in here in the paint, and you can see it's kind of globby. We don't want that. So I'm going to tap some of this off on my paper plate palette, and then I'm going to put the other one in a space that seems to make sense for the size of the first eye and the size of the rock. And see how I'm rocking it like this, like in a circle? I'm not moving it across the surface, I'm just rocking it like that. And I'm just gonna go back in here and tap, tap. And then I'm gonna wipe this off. And I'm gonna get, either you can use a sharpened pencil, or you can use a paintbrush if you feel confident with that, And so what I'm gonna do is, see how this pencil's not super sharp? I'm gonna dip in my black paint and I'm going to tap in the circle. I'm not rubbing it, I'm tapping it in because I don't want it to make a scrapey mark in the paint. I'm just kind of tapping it around the circle, and I'm keeping this black part of the eye down low in this sort of circular shape here. And then I'm going to start here in the center of where I want that new circle to be. And see how I keep dipping into my paint to make sure that it's laying down where I want it to. And some of my white is getting in my black paint, so I'm just going to dry this off. And then I'm going to go back into my black paint. And teachers with younger students, you may want to have them paint the white circular shapes with on one day and then let it dry completely, and then come back the second day to do the rest if you feel like that's what your students need. So I'm gonna go back in here, get more black paint in because I want both of these dots to be about the same size. It doesn't have to be perfect because there's no such thing. And I'm going to wipe this off so I can use it for something else if I need to. And then I'm going to take a permanent marker. I have a Sharpie here. You don't have to have a Sharpie as long as it's a permanent marker, because a water-based marker is just not going to mark well. So then I'm going to put in the smile line like this, and I'm going to thicken it just a little bit so I can see it better. And then these two little marks here, you can leave those out if you want to. And then some students might want to put in eyebrows or eyelashes. It's completely up to the student how they want to do that. So I'm going to put in some eyelashes here. I'm going to be real careful not to touch that white paint because the white paint will ruin the tip of this marker. And then I'm gonna turn this upside down. This is an artistic strategy that we use to be able to look at something that we already did on this side, and then I can glance back and forth between what I'm trying to do and what I already did to get it as close to matching as I can. Doesn't have to be perfect. And maybe you want some eyebrows, maybe not, it's up to you. You can add them if you want to. And then again, I'm going to turn this upside down so that I can look at this one while I'm trying to draw in this one. And there's my rock. And I didn't think of a name for her yet, but I think I'm going to call her Matilda. She's just looking like a Matilda to me. So let me show you a different way to do this. You can use googly eyes, because these are fun. And you may want to do this with younger students. And I'll use this one here. I've got all these wonderful rock shapes that I picked up. And I'm going to roll this around again. And I think this is the flattest area. So I'm going to use tacky glue because I don't want it, like I said, to run down the face. And I'm just going to put some glue on here. These little things are hard for big hands to hold. And I'm going to stick that on there. And the tacky glue, because it's thicker, sticks pretty good right away. It can be wiped off, so you have to be careful with it. You may want to, if you're doing the googly eyes, do the googly eyes on one day and then let them completely dry overnight, and then put the rest of the face on the next day. And then I'm going to put, this is a very small rock, so I don't have a lot of room. And I'm going to keep this one simple. I'm just going to put a little mouth on here like this. And this one's looking like, that one's going to be called Gabriel. And there you are. Enjoy painting your rocks.